Hi, welcome back to Abnormality. I wasn't going to do a video right now, but I thought of something, and so time to talk to a camera. This is actually one of the videos when I decided to start the channel. Well, when I first started thinking about, hey, I'd kind of like to do a YouTube channel. This is one of the things I wrote down that I wanted to, talk to a camera on. And so, here we are. And the timing's good because, well, I'm probably being very cryptic. So, I live in a family where my parents are divorced. And I think another video on that, because that's not the point of this video, but my parents are divorced. And so with that, a few years ago, I'm blanking on how many, but like 3, 4-ish, so like 5, 6 years ago, my parents got divorced. And then 3, 4 years ago, my dad introduced me to his girlfriend. And I mean, that was weird at first, because I was like 11, I was in grade 6, and I was like, this is weird. This is like another lady. And of course, she was like super nice right away. I liked her, but it was kind of hard. And so, my dad married her a year and a half ago. They got married like summer of 2016. Yes, summer of 2016. And so that's what this video is. This is about society and stepmothers, I guess. So my dad introduced me to his girlfriend, and she met me, and later, a little bit later, she met my siblings because they're younger. And then a couple years later, they got married. And I find it's a little bit difficult. It's not quite controversial, but it's one of those kind of not, well, taboo subjects. Like, we don't really talk about it, we kind of pretend it doesn't exist. But really, people, like step-parents, people who are willing to be a step-parent or grandparent or whatever, they're amazing people, and maybe some of them are like in Snow White and all the horrible Cinderella stepmothers, but at least for me and other people that I know, step-parents are wonderful human beings. At least that's how one of my friends puts it. And, like, it's kind of like adopted parents. So, like, your parents don't love you less if you're, of course, born to them. I don't think they really love you more than if they adopted a child. But my stepmother chose me. Like, she chose to marry my dad, but when she said, I do to my dad, she said, I do to me and my brothers and my sister and my grandparents and my aunt and uncle and my cousins. Like, she said yes to our whole family, and she said yes to me. Just like adopting a child. She didn't have to. She could have married my dad and been terrible to me whenever he was there, not liked me at all, but that's just so not true. I think a lot of people in our world, especially the Christian community that I've grown up in, has a hard time seeing like step-parents as a good thing. And maybe of course it's not ideal. I mean, if everyone had a step-parent, then everyone would have had to go through their parents getting divorced. And I know from first-hand experience that parents getting a divorce is difficult on everybody, not just them. But if my parents hadn't gotten divorced, I never would have met my stepmom, and I absolutely love her. She is one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And her parents, now my Oma and Opa, I love them as if I'd known them all my life, and they were really my grandparents. But you know, that's another thing, like, even adopted kids, friends, you're not really siblings, but at the same time you are. She's not just my stepmother, she's like a mom to me. And it's not just this terrible person and oh, the horrible stepmother from Cinderella. It's someone who came into my life and came into my family's life and said, hey, I know that you guys have had a lot of difficulty in this kind of area in the past, but I love you the same, and you're going to be my kid now, even though she really had no obligation. So, at least to me, oh, and then to me, I call her BelleMre, not all the time, because that would be weird, but BelleMre means stepmother in French. And stepmother has all these terrible connotations in our society. So, BelleMre, which translates to pretty mother if you don't speak French, kind of translates. In my mind, it translates to pretty mother. So, I think that's a lot better. If you have a stepmother, call her BelleMre. It's much better than, I don't know. But, yeah, it's hard, and it's a complicated thing. It's not just this straightforward, and the journey wasn't easy on any of us. It was difficult at times for me and my siblings to accept her, and it was difficult for her to know how we are, what we like, how to be with us, because she hadn't had kids of her own, and I know that's also partly hard for her, but I'm glad that now I get to be her kid, even if it's kind of like she adopted me. And as far as I know, she doesn't love me any less than she would if I was her kid and she'd known me all my life. And that's an amazing thing to me. As much as the whole my parents getting divorced thing was hard, and things such as, hey, you have a stepmother now, were a bit hard to accept at first, I wouldn't change it for the world, because she's one of the most amazing people I've ever met, and I'm so glad that she gets to be a part of my life. I guess leave it in the comments if any of you guys also have step-parents and kind of think more along these lines than what you normally hear. I'd also like to say happy birthday to my BelleMre, and thank you for being awesome. You are definitely the exact opposite of what so many of us are told step-parents are, so thank you for everything you do for me all the time. I wouldn't be the person I am without you. And yeah, thank you to all the step-parents out there who chose us, chose the kids as your own, and love them like they're yours. You make a world of a difference to so many more than are talked about. So, hey, thanks for listening in on another spiel. My name is Julia, and this is Abnormality.